Good evening, Brother Lineman. Welcome to another episode of The Lineman Life. Today's episode is about something that's been on my mind for a while. If you're a lineman and you have a family, this might be one of the most important messages you get to hear. So I was sitting on my back porch, lanai, they call it in Hawaii, scrolling through my Instagram feed, and I came across a picture. As I read the caption, I discovered that the person in the picture was a lineman, and he had been in an accident. So one of his family members was posting the picture, asking everybody to support a foundation to go towards helping this lineman who'd been burned. Now, as I looked more into it, this guy was, like I said, he was a lineman, and he had a family and kids, and he was the sole breadwinner for his entire family. So I immediately went over to the foundation website and made a donation. This wasn't the first time I'd seen posts about this very thing, linemen being in accidents and needing assistance to help their family out. You know, always think about what's going on in that guy's mind while he's lying in that hospital bed. And I know his wife and his kids are crowded around his hospital bed and asking him, "Honey, how are we going to survive now that you're hurt?" Depending on family and friends to help you out if you get hurt, that's not a good plan. You know, I thought back to my days as a young, stupid kid, as an apprentice on a crew, and my foreman, Ronald. We were sitting around one day during lunch, having a conversation, and Ronald brought up this subject just out of the blue. "What kind of insurance do you have, Spooner, to protect your family, your wife and your kids in case something happens to you?" And my reply to him was, "Man, I can't afford that. You know, it's taking everything I have just to, keep food on the table. I can't afford money for insurance." Ronald jumped up and said, "Man, you cannot afford not to have insurance. Who's going to take care of that beautiful wife and kids that you have if something happens to you and you can't work?" So Ronald told me, our job is dangerous. There's 3 things you got to have if you work in this job. The first is you got to have some kind of an life insurance policy. The second thing you got to have is some kind of long-term insurance policy. And the third thing you got to do is you got to put away a little bit of money for the future and retirement. I know a lot of you guys are like me. When you walk out that front door to go to work every morning, you really don't know if you're going to return in the evening to your family. The work we do is extremely dangerous. We always think it's going to be the other guy that gets injured or gets killed. But it could happen to you. I've worked for electric utilities for over 40 years now. And along the way, I've seen careers come to an abrupt end. The work we do is hard. It's hard on the body. It's dangerous. And not everybody is going to make it until the end of their career. 4 linemen I've worked with have been killed in accidents along the way. One was pulling wet vines with no rubber gloves on, and the vine fell across a cutout, killed him. One was unloading a transmission switch out of a closed bed truck, and the switch fell off the forklift and landed on him and killed him. Another had a set of defective bells. 3 ceramic bells broke off while he was walking under the pole. On new construction, fell 60-something feet, hit him right in the top of the hard hat. Never saw it coming. We even had a lineman killed at home, working on a washing machine on a Saturday. He was working on the machine with it plugged in and stuck his hand up in the washing machine, and he was electrocuted right there. I've got another episode where I talk about one of my lineman friends who was killed in a car accident. So it happens. I've seen many careers come to an end. Apprentice cut out of a pole. Fell down, landed on the journeyman lineman who was standing under the pole. The gaff hit him on the top of his shoulder, and it didn't come out till it got almost to his elbow. That was the last day that guy ever worked as a lineman because his arm was so severely injured. Another guy doing switching. Elbow blew up. 3rd degree, 2nd degree burns on his stomach. Another guy, something as simple as walking down into a ditch on storm trouble, twisted his knee, messed up his knee bad enough where he never worked again as a lineman. But it's up to you to protect your family in case something happens to you and you're not here, or you get into an accident where you can't work as a lineman anymore. Personally, I always wanted to be self-sufficient and take care of my family if something happened. I didn't want to have to ask other people to help. And I'm not degrading the people who need help. I'm really not. I'm just saying, personally for me, I always try to put things in place where I could take care of my family. And I learned this from somebody else. Like I said, I learned it from Ronald. It didn't come from me. I never really even thought about it until he brought it up that day. But once I started doing it, it gave me peace of mind, and it gave my wife peace of mind that she was going to be okay if something happened to me. So how are you going to keep yourself out of this position of having to look for others to help support you if something happens to you? There's 3 things you need to have, just like Ronald told me. You need some type of short-term disability policy. You need a life insurance policy, and you need to put some money away for when you retire. Most companies offer the insurance part of it for dirt cheap. I went and looked on my paycheck, and I think I'm paying about $9 for several $100,000 worth of insurance in case I get killed. I'm also paying somewhere around $8 and something for long-term disability. Something that would take care of me and my family if I got hurt and I never could be a lineman anymore. You think about it. That's $17 a month. That is nothing. I know I waste $17 pretty much on a daily basis. A lunch costs $17 almost now. $17 is nothing. Very easy and cheap to get some insurance in case something happens. The peace of mind, knowing that you're protected and your family's protected in case something happens to you, that's priceless. Even if your company doesn't offer it, on the outside, insurance companies offer long-term disability and life insurance, especially term insurance, very, very cheap. Costs hardly anything. So let's talk about that 3rd piece of advice that Ronald gave me, and that is putting something away for retirement. The 2 companies I work for, both of them had some type of 401k match. You put in 6%, they're going to match 6%. Some companies, you put in 6%, they're going to match 50% of it, 3%. That's free money. I've had guys tell me they couldn't afford to put anything into their 401k. But really, you're throwing away free money. If your company does a match, that is free money that they're giving you. All you got to do is put your portion into it. And I'll be the first one to tell you, time goes by very quickly. Like I said, I've been doing this since the early 80s, and man, time has flown by. I can't believe that it's almost time for me to give it up. The next thing you know, you look around, boom, time has passed. Depending on Social Security and depending on the U.S. government to support you after you retire, that is definitely not a good plan. Even if you have some type of annuity, you still want to put some money into a company 401k or a 401k with any kind of match. It's easy money. I tell every young guy here that will listen, you put in 10 to 15% of your salary into a retirement plan for 30, 40 years. When you get to be retirement age, there's no doubt you're going to be a millionaire. The linemen have a certain lifestyle. We love new trucks, new cars, boats. I've had them all. If you want to continue that in your retirement, you're going to have to put away some money when you're younger and while you're working to keep up with that lineman lifestyle. When I retire, I want to have the freedom to pretty much do what I want and have the financial freedom to pretty much do what I want when I retire. So put money away while you're working. Just a little bit. It's going to pay off in the end. Maybe you are hearing this message today because you don't have any life insurance or you don't have any long-term disability insurance to protect your family in case something happens to you. This might be the most important advice you'll ever hear from another lineman. Linemen are proud. We take care of our families. We take care of our brothers. Be prepared. Get that long-term disability policy that your company offers for peanuts. Sign up for life insurance that pays 3, 4, 5 times your annual salary in case something happens to you on the job. Help that foundation that supports our fellow brother linemen. I'm not perfect. I haven't always done the right thing. I was a dumb kid when somebody told me and taught me these lessons. And I know that helping others and taking care of your family is one of the number one things you can do. There's an old saying that kind of sums all this up. There, but for the grace of God, go I. Be prepared in case something happens to you. Be prepared so your family can survive if something happens to you. Appreciate you guys listening. If you like the content you hear, please hit the subscribe button. If you know anybody else who would like this content, please share this episode with them. Until next time, keep safe and remember, you are your brother's keeper. Aloha.